Hello, I'm John from the Haunt Informer,
And I'm Glenn from Fall Ritual.
and this is episode 41 of Fall Informer. And today we have multiple special guests from Haunted Overload. We have Emily and Jeff. Yes.
Hi,
How's it going?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
happy to
Sure.
be here.
Wonderful.
All right. So, what got you into haunts, and when did you start at Haunted Overload?
Technically, it was me. I always set up little haunts as a kid at my mom's house. Like, instead of trick-or-treating, I would just try to scare kids as a kid. And I looked at Eric's website, the Haunted Overload website, and found that you could become an actor and volunteer. So I reached out to him, and then he wrote back to me within like an hour.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I started trying to get her to do it, and then kind of just went from there, I guess.
I acted in all throughout middle school and high school, just drama
Oh,
club.
nice.
A lot of us are drama geeks. Like, yeah, I'm
Okay.
sure you've figured that out by now.
Yeah.
So many of us were theater kids as kids. And I was actually scared to do it at first because um, I think I mentioned this. I'm epileptic, so I was like, oh no,
Oh,
there's going to be
okay.
flashing lights everywhere. I
Yeah.
can't do this. And then I don't know if you've heard of Tyla. She's
Yes.
Sister Lucy.
Yes.
She messaged me and she was like, your husband's joining. Like, you have to join. You have to do this. And I was like, well, what if like I can't like I if there's flashing lights, I can't be in a scene. She's like, no, no, no. We'll put you somewhere where there's no flashing lights. I can talk to anyone about it. And then I found out that sorry, our dog is drinking water in the
It's okay.
background. There's multiple medical professionals who are actually haunt actors, so it's really cool. So I feel really safe there. But he begged me, and it's really weird. You would have thought it would be the opposite because he's actually really quiet and I'm
Oh, yeah.
obnoxious.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at Haunted Overload, you get to be whoever the hell you want. So
Wonderful.
And how
Wonderful.
long have you been there now?
this is our third year.
Third year? Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool, cool, cool. So the way I have this worked out is I have different questions for both of you, and I'll tell you when it's for both of you. So the first question I have is for Emily. When did you actually create the character of Prudence the doll? What was like the process of doing that?
So when you first sign up at Haunted Overload, the scene their stage manager Tom will tell you what scenes are open where he needs actors. And I was either going to be acting in the mine shaft, which is where Jeff started out, or the dollhouse was open, and I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. Like I can be a creepy doll, or I could be like a spooky teddy bear, whatever. Um, and then I started just kind of like looking up antique dolls and like haunted dolls, and I was like, yeah, this is where I belong, absolutely. And I'm super into special effects makeup. So I was like, I can cover myself in blood. This is perfect. And I don't even remember. I think he actually named my character.
Okay.
Um, we were we were just kind of like chatting one night about how we were gonna make our characters, and I was like, what should I name her? Like, I don't know. And he was like, Prudence. And I was like, that sounds like the opposite of what I should name her. And he was like, yeah, no, that's why. And I was like, okay. And then we came up with Purgatory Prudence because she's half dead, stuck between the bottom and the top. I won't say the religious stuff. I'm not into that.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Was there any inspiration behind the character? Did you like pull from any inspiration from somewhere else to get into your character?
I kind of just made her up, to be honest.
Nice.
And it ended up completely sparking an absolute obsession for antique dolls. Um, I mean, everyone's always like, "Oh, Annabelle, blah blah blah," and I'm just like, "Meh." I do have four Raggedy Ann dolls. I've had dolls all my life.
Okay.
I think most kids growing up have dolls.
Yeah.
But I now have four Raggedy Ann dolls because of Annabelle. But that's not really what inspired it. It was kind of just like, being a haunted doll sounds cute and scary at the same time. And then when people started calling me cute, I got really mad, and I made the character much more terrifying.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. So talking about your character, Jeff, where did you get that mask? It's very unsettling. It definitely just seeing pictures of it, you're like, oh God, I don't want to be near that.
So I made my own, like a new one for this season. It looks
Nice.
super similar.
Okay.
But the original one was a $15 mask off of eBay that I
Wow.
kind of changed around and stuff. And I've always had a beard,
Okay.
and I didn't want to wear a full mask and I didn't want to do makeup. So I figured I'd kind of mix the two, and it turned out to be kind of perfect, I guess.
Yeah, definitely works.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead, Glenn.
All right, I'll stick to you, Jeff. Being an artist, have you designed any logos or T-shirts for Haunted Overload? Have you done any design for them?
No. We have another person that works with us, Morgan. She is an incredible painter, which that
Nice.
will be the new shirt for next year.
Okay.
She's an oil painter, and she does stuff that I could never do.
It's
So
incredible to watch her time lapses. It's just
Oh, yeah.
nuts.
Oh wow.
She's she's unbelievable. If you guys get a chance to talk to her, you definitely should. She's just
Yeah, I
mind
follow
blowing.
her. I follow her on Instagram, and
Yeah.
her art
Yeah,
pretty
she's
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah, she has excellent art. I got to meet her in person at Transworld this year. She was
Yeah, we saw the picture. We were like, oh, that's the one who wants to interview us.
yeah, she was very nice.
She's
We
very
like to,
sweet.
yeah, that'd be awesome to get her on for
Yeah.
for an interview.
Yeah, she's one of our closest friends, like at Haunted Overload. She's just like the nicest person on earth. She'll just like go to hell and back for anyone, and her art is amazing, and she's just like super, super sweet. And you wouldn't expect her to be at Haunted Overload because she's so nice.
Okay.
Like she's not messed up in the head like the rest of us are. I mean, I guess I'm just speaking for us, kind of. I shouldn't say that about everyone else, but when you know, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
so that you do stuff for the merch booth, though.
oh, yeah.
That's still art.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, I sell my own kind of weird stuff at the merch booth. Like weird sculptures and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it, like when like a haunt has like one of a kind, unique things, not just their logo T-shirts, but really like handmade stuff. Or
Yeah. Yeah, I do like keychains, jewelry, like just
Do you
weird.
make like particular characters like scarecrows or things or?
So I have a couple of little things here.
Okay, cool.
that's awesome.
Nice.
It's all made from clay, and then I
That's
make
the one you picked to show them. Okay.
really gross stuff.
Oh my God.
Severed fingers,
Yep.
stuff
And
like
that's all
that.
hand painted. Once you sculpt it, it's all hand painted.
Yeah, it's all painted with acrylics. And I use like random hair that I find and stuff. So
We one of the headless horseman at the haunt, who's actually a girl, my friend Kendall.
Okay.
She was the stage manager, oddly enough, all throughout high school when we were in drama club together, and now she's the headless horseman.
Nice.
Jeff gets her horse's hair and puts it on some of the sculptures, which I think is like really cool. We're going to be advertising that this year as like a
Tie-in.
get people to be like, oh my God, that's the horse from the headless horseman.
That's interesting you say that the Headless Horseman is played by a girl because at Bates Motel and Haunted Hayride, a girl plays the Headless Horseman there as well.
Yeah, well, I feel like you find more women that ride horses than you do men.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to sound, I guess, like sexist. It's usually like you either have like jockeys or you have like the girls who compete in horse competitions.
Yes.
There's actually a lot of women at our haunt who ride horses. I don't
Okay.
know what the connection is, but
Okay.
the girls at the haunt love horses. So
Nice. Cool. All right. So something I found interesting is I always love seeing behind the scenes, and I think Haunted Overload's like the best at doing that on social media because you post so many behind the scenes things. And I saw recently you actually were using a chainsaw multiple times, and you actually put one together by yourself. That was impressive.
yeah, the only thing that's annoying about the ones that I always put together are they never come with instructions, so you kind of have to wing it.
Man, that's
Um,
annoying.
yeah, it'll be like, oh, this is how you operate it, but I'm not going to tell you anything about putting it together. And they're also really finicky about getting the cover over the motor. There's like multiple pieces that you have to line up very specifically. In the video that I made, I actually put the chainsaw together incorrectly 3 times before
Oh, geez.
before I got it right. But
Okay.
luckily, it was on like I tried to keep it kind of like a secret. It was so that's why it's all sped up and everything.
Okay, okay.
It only took me 15 minutes.
Oh, that's
Um,
not.
yeah, they're pretty easy to put together. The first time I put one together, I put the blade on backwards, and one of our best friends at the haunt is also named Jeff. And he comes up to me and he's like, "That's backwards," and I was like, "No, it's not. It's definitely not backwards." And he was like, "No, that's an anti-chainsaw." And I was like, "You're such an ass."
Oh, man.
I do love me a chainsaw though. It's my favorite.
Yes. Because I saw you were cutting lots of like 2x4s and everything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's they're it's kind of strange. He uses a lot of different types of saws, like a table saw, a circle saw, sawzall. I mean, I can use a sawzall, but there's a lot of saws that I won't touch that are literally probably as powerful as a turkey knife
Okay.
that you would like use for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But you put a chainsaw in my hand and I'm like, absolutely, baby, let's do this. Absolutely. But I'm afraid of the tiny ones because I'm like, this is gonna I'm gonna drop this on my foot somehow. And it's gonna cut my shoe open. I got steel toe boots finally.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. You should totally be one of the chainsaw guys with chainsaw women, I'm sorry. With Nikki and Morgan.
I mean, Eric said I can sneak a chainsaw into the dollhouse this year, or the nursery this year,
Oh,
if I
nice.
want to. But the only problem is that my scene is really small. Well, the walls are really small.
Okay.
So, and also, starting a chainsaw is really hard. You have to
I know
practice
the
a lot,
struggle.
and it's
I
a
know the struggle
lot
of
of work.
turning them on. Yep.
Yeah, one of the first days that Eric was really like hammering down, being like, if you want to do this, you have to do this like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up the next morning and I couldn't lift my arms past my shoulders because I had been chainsawing for so long. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, some people probably find it easy, but I'm still a beginner, so.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. All right, Jeff, since we're talking about, behind the scenes stuff and, both of you do work at Haunted Overload through the off season and everything and build sets and build props. Is there anyone specifically like you're proud of that you did? Like you just step back like, wow, I can't believe, because there's amazing stuff at Haunted Overload. Is there like one specific year like that you personally had input in?
I would say, well, so last season, we built a whole new scene specifically just for me.
Oh, nice.
That's right at the end of the haunt.
Okay.
Because I brought up to Eric last year that so many people like in reviews and stuff would be like, the haunt just ends. Like,
okay.
You walk out and it's just like there's so much extra space, like by the merch booth and stuff, where it's just there's nothing and it just abruptly ended.
Okay.
So we ended up building a whole new vortex, like a huge skull mouth with the laser vortex.
Wonderful.
We built a photo booth that people can go up and take selfies and send it to their phone for free. That I would go and interact with them and sneak into their pictures and stuff.
That's always great.
Or the picture that I sent you is from the photo booth that we built.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a feeling because it felt like that kind of like digital frame kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome.
It was cool to just kind of have insight on that whole process and be able to see it all come alive and then be able to act in that whole scene after working months on finishing it. So
yes. Is that like where the trucks are at the very end now?
Yeah, it's right after the trucks. Yeah.
Oh, you're very familiar with the layout, huh?
Oh yeah, I've watched so many Haunted Overload videos.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I still get lost in there sometimes, and it's my because when we're building, there's a bunch of secret doors that open so we can go straight through the haunt.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're walking through as a patron, it's zigzagging, obviously, because the whole point is meant to confuse people, make people disoriented.
Yes.
So when everything is open, it's almost like a grid,
Okay.
and you can sneak through and be in another scene like completely at the opposite end of the haunt in like a split second. So when all the doors are closed, I'm like, where am I? How the hell do I'm not supposed to be here right now. The
Mhm.
scene I'm working on is like 5 minutes away. Like how the hell did I get here?
Mhm.
And I have to just kind of, sometimes I start yelling people's names. And then I look up and they're just kind of like waving or whatever, or somebody
Okay.
yells back at me and I follow the sound of their voice. It's just,
Okay.
it's ridiculous.
I always find it fascinating doing behind the scenes tours of haunts because it really is a massive different perspective of it. Because during the daytime, you're like, during the daytime, sometimes, especially when they don't have the corn planted for like trails, you can see everything.
Mhm.
And then once they plant the corn, it's like you have no idea where you are. It's amazing.
We actually reuse the corn every year.
Yeah, I heard Eric said it's really expensive, right?
Really, really expensive. Yeah, so basically until the corn stalks are absolutely in shambles, which we like stuff to look like it's in shambles anyway.
Yes.
It's part of our, spooky effect. And like sometimes just as an example, like when I first started learning to use the chainsaw, I'd be like, sorry, Eric, I really screwed that up. He's like, you're building a haunted house. And so we call it like haunted overload perfect. But anyway, we always want like everything to look like it's really, really old, which is like the kind of an advantage to being able to reuse the corn stalks. But
Yes.
when it comes to the season, when it comes the time to put all the corn stalks on the stakes, we go home smelling horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely horrible. But you can't smell it like from where you are as a patron.
Mhm.
But when you have to hug them to put them on
Yeah.
top of stakes, oh.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, geez.
But we try to reuse pretty much just absolutely anything that we can. Like we'll tear down structures and like build something brand new and then put the old wood on top of it so that it
Yes.
looks ancient.
Yeah, it has that vintage look to it. Yeah.
Right. Because if you see something brand new when you're walking through a haunt, you're gonna be like, that's not the aesthetic,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's funny when sometimes you go through haunts and you know exactly what the new thing is because everything else is like dingy and is like, oh,
Yep.
that's clean.
That wasn't here last year.
No,
Yeah.
that wasn't here.
No, we make sure you can't figure that out
Yeah, no,
ever.
no.
Or in certain cases, you smell the paint. We've been
Yes.
through a
We've
few,
been
and you
through
smell the
haunts where you
paint.
smell the paint. Yeah.
Yep. We paint like as soon as we can in the summer. But usually since we're an outdoor haunt, you can't smell the paint
Smell the
very
paint, yeah.
easily because it rains, obviously. So the paint
Yeah.
smell goes away within like a couple of days.
Gotcha. Alrighty. So this is always a fun question to ask people. What were some of your best scares from last season for 2022?
I personally really like it when people just fall on the ground.
That's always great.
I'm kind of sorry for the language. I'm kind of a vindictive bitch. So when people come up to me and they're like, "You're not scary," I
Mhm.
follow them and I scream right in their ear, and usually it just causes them to drop. I always like whisper, and I'm like, "Are you okay?"
Mhm.
And they're like, "Ah!" And I mean, if they're like crying like hysterically, I'll
Yeah.
get them up and walk them out. But
Mhm.
I love when people drop to the ground. It's just my favorite thing. And my first year actually, one of my favorite scares of all time that I will never forget.
Okay.
This teenage boy was walking through with his girlfriend.
Okay.
And he thought I was a mannequin, which is I always try to do that. I'm like really good, and I can keep my eyes open for a really long time, and I just kind of stand there like this. And he walked up to me and he was like, "Oh, that one has pretty eyes." And I was just like, oh! And his girlfriend was like, "Robbie, you just told her she has pretty eyes. What the hell?" And I was like, I had to physically turn around because I was laughing so
Oh my
hard.
God. Oh, that's
It was hysterical. It was so good.
How are you, Jeff?
I would say for last year, there was two of my favorite ones. The first one was by the photo booth.
Okay.
People would take pictures and like I'd go behind and sneak into pictures.
Yeah.
But there was this one kid that was probably like 11, 12.
Okay.
And I have one of those drill air horn like Awuga horns
Oh,
that
nice.
I make, and I combine that with like a really high pitched scream that I do. And I did that, and we have like hay bales there,
Okay.
and he screamed, turned around, tripped on the hay bale, and basically scorpioned himself. And
Like ridiculous.
yeah, and I don't talk or anything, so I just stopped and was like, and everybody else, like all the other patrons, just started laughing.
Oh, geez.
And then the other one, I don't know if you know Anne and Jeline and Tom. They're like the clowns that roam around.
Oh,
in
yeah,
black
like
and
Joy
white.
Joy and everything.
Joy, she looks like them, but
Oh, like the black and
she's-
white style, like the ones that roam around.
yeah.
I've seen
So
the YouTube videos, yeah.
yeah,
I
so
bet.
they all have the Awuga horns too, and
Okay.
we got this one guy that was probably like 50 years old, and we were just bouncing him off of each other with our Awuga horns, chasing him through the woods at the end of the hunt,
That's
just going
excellent.
in circles and circles. But yeah, those are probably my two favorite ones.
Have you ever scared people where they, like you just said, where they go around a circle and they can't leave your scene because they're so scared? Because we talked to other scare actors where they said they scared them so bad they like hid in a corner and they couldn't get them to leave. And then the next scene was a chainsaw guy after them.
Yeah,
Those are really fun when the chainsaws come, when somebody's stuck in a corner because they even more corner themselves. They don't know what to do.
Oh, gee.
My scene specifically gets a lot of chainsaws, because it's right towards the end, and
Okay.
the bathroom's right there.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like I think there's like 5 people with chainsaws right now.
Okay.
But so my scene, there's a lot of, it's like a hidden wall where if you walk, it looks like it's this big long wall, but you can't see where the corner goes.
Oh,
So
okay.
you walk straight down and you still think that it's going to keep going, but it goes to the right.
Okay.
And people are like slapping the walls trying to figure out where to go. And I'll just be standing there just being like, I laugh. Like I said, vindictive bitch. I laugh at people all the time. I like to call people a scaredy cat and just mess with them as hard as I possibly can. When they heckle me, I heckle them back. But eventually, if they get stuck for long enough, I'll be like, sorry, I blocked your face. When people get stuck in corners, it's fantastic.
Great. Oh, man. Next up, Glenn.
Going back to your character, Emily, and your makeup and costume, how long does it take for you to get into your character? And I know you do a lot of makeup and special effects. Like, do you do makeup for other actors there?
No, I don't do other actors' makeup. A lot of people know, though, that if they need something makeup-wise, that I usually have it with me.
Okay.
People are always coming to me for like something to, glue something on their face or to ask for a spritz of spray blood, or just like a dab on their face, whatever. Everyone just pretty much knows that I always have that stuff with me. But my makeup, it's super unfortunate to get fully into character with all of my clothes on, and I don't even put my blood on until I get to the haunt because it's a mess. And painting my teeth as well. I don't do that till I get to the haunt. Everything takes pretty much close to 3 hours. It's a really long process. I don't use,
I've seen
Yeah.
the time lapse and it didn't look very long, but I was like, wow.
So that was me taking my makeup off.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right. So and I cut that out of a 7-minute long video and sped it up.
Okay.
It's a really a lot of most of the actors at the haunt use like a cream makeup,
Okay.
like face paint type style, or kind of face paint type style. Like Marin is a really popular brand. Bill Nye, really popular brand. I don't know if I should be name dropping. Anyway, I use makeup.
Maybe you'll get sponsored.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love that. That'd be incredible. But I use like straight up makeup. And I have a lot of contouring that I do. I have to put fake tear marks on my, I don't know, I don't have to do anything, but I just go balls to the wall with this stuff. It's what I do. I get constant like compliments on my makeup. Everyone's like, "Whoa, look at that one." Usually when they think I'm a mannequin, but it's just it's a lot of work. And it's a lot of it's a lot for my skin to take, but I have to be super careful so that I don't get like, like breakouts and everything because my makeup is porcelain white. So yeah, it's a long process.
What about you, Jeff? What's your setup for your costume?
It takes me like 15 minutes.
Oh, geez.
'Cause all I do is basically black out from like here down and kind of blend it into my beard.
Okay.
I wear contacts and I have like prosthetic teeth and shit. And then I put my costume on. So it's pretty simple, straightforward.
But he gets to be my henchman the whole time. So
Okay, nice.
I'm just like, excuse me, can you go get me some Q-tips? Like, can you can you go to the store and get us like a bunch of water? And he's just running back and forth through the apartment the whole 2.5 hours that I'm bitching, like just bitching. I'm just like, this eyelash, I swear to God. Like, I'm like freaking out the whole time. And he's just very calmly sitting there like, okay, honey, what do you need? Are you doing okay? Do you want me to rub your back? Like, you gonna make it? Yeah.
That's funny. Oh man. So this is a question I think you'll enjoy. What would be your dream scene for both of you if you had unlimited budget, anything you wanted to Haunted Overload? What would be the scene you'd make?
I would make a haunted antique store.
Nice. That would be awesome.
Imagine the scary shit you could put in, like an oddities type deal.
Yes,
I don't know if you've
definitely.
seen that show that like where there's like human body parts or like
I've been in the
like,
hobby shops. Yeah.
oh my God, that would have been my dream. Or like in the medical tools and the and then the other one would probably be a morgue. But
Okay.
then I couldn't be a doll. So that's why I say antique store.
Yeah,
And then
because you
all
can
the
still have the
characters.
vintage dolls in there. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I have a very, very large collection of dolls. Well, a lot of them are in the attic currently.
Even
because
creepier.
Yeah.
Always go in that attic. Never
Oh,
go in
yeah.
that attic in a horror movie.
I think my dream scene would be like a old Western, like kind of road,
Okay.
like with like a saloon and
Yeah.
like an old bank and like a barber shop or something like on each side, and just like so people could come out of doors like just one after the other, and just a little bit of everything and different characters all in one, like not short scene, but like an elongated Western theme, I guess.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
I love going to haunts where they have lots of themes encapsulated. Like it doesn't bother me when I go to a haunt and none of it goes together. It does not bother me.
Yeah.
They have the backstory and it does tie into it. I'm like, oh, they went the extra mile, but I love it either way. Like if I'm having a good time, I just enjoy it. Like I'm not gonna nitpick it just because of that. So
Definitely. Oh yeah.
Nitpicking takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah.
There's so many kids nowadays that come through the hut and they're just like, I'm not afraid of you. And I'm like, why did you come? Like this is like you spent money on this. You realize that, right? Like, and those are the ones I target though, usually if they say I'm not scary. And that's, I mean, it's something we all do as like scare actors. If somebody's acting like they're not scared, they're usually terrified.
Oh, really?
But they're trying to be ballsy so that they don't get followed.
Yeah.
So we do target the ones that are acting like they're not scared or they're acting like all macho and shit. And it's always the teenage boys.
Oh, it always, yeah. Always.
Well, going back, if you guys are ever in this area, I know the perfect haunt to take you, especially Jeff, because you said it Old West type thing. There's this place called Screen Mountain right near me, not necessarily near John, but near me. The whole hayride is Old West themed.
That's awesome.
Oh wow, that'd be
The
fun.
entire thing. And the first scene is a barbershop. And it's like this, we actually interviewed they get like this guy plays like a demon barber, and he's like,
Yes.
killing. This,
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Sweeney Todd.
yeah, almost, yeah, and it's just
really
crazy.
cool.
The whole thing is like this old west. It's like there's like part where it's like this like mine shaft.
Yes.
It's really awesome.
Cool. That's well done.
But no, that's when you said that, I'm like, wow, there's one that's really doing that right near
And
me.
you'd also like the Bates Motel and Haunted Hayride. They have a Western scene on there.
Yeah.
You'd love
I
it with
did.
all the detail in it.
Yeah, I was just looking at that the other day online, the Bates Motel one. Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, let me segue into my question for you. This is for both of you. What are your top 3 haunts that you would love to go to?
You want me to-
Yeah, you go first.
So I was looking around and stuff because I couldn't kind of decide. But the first one would either be the Bates Motel hayride, because I think a hayride would be super cool and different,
Definitely.
or the Headless Horseman hayride.
Yep.
And then Bennett's Curse.
Yes.
And then my last one would be Haunted Overload, because I've actually never been through as a patron.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because I don't particularly like being scared.
Oh,
I mean, I'll still go through and stuff, but I've never gone through as a patron yet.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
yeah, makes me the only one.
I've only been through as in costume. Yeah, I know, but nobody scared me because actually you scared me. Yeah. And I knew exactly where he was gonna be too. Because I know where he is.
Yeah.
And he scared the shit out of me. I was terrified. I like screamed, and then I hugged him, and he thought I was a patron, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Babe, it's me." And he was like, "Oh shit, okay."
Oh, that's funny.
We're always messing with each other like that.
Yeah.
I'm actually secretly not a fan of haunted houses or haunted attractions rather, because just like I said, I am epileptic. So I never know when there's going to be crazy flashing lights, even just getting startled enough, or
Mhm.
like and I'm not super easy to scare at haunted attractions. I'm always prepared.
Mhm.
I'm very easy to scare at my own house, which is stupid. Like if he walks in the door and I'm in the he builds mannequins
Oh, okay.
and for the haunt
Mhm.
and he's had 2 now that have been over 6 feet tall, and
Okay.
they live in the kitchen.
Okay.
And anytime I walk through the kitchen in the middle of the night, or not even, it could be broad daylight, and I see them, I shriek. I know exactly where they are. I know that there's something in my kitchen, and every time I'm like, okay, this is how I die. I'm gonna die today. This is my day. My day to die.
Oh
um
gosh.
but so like I said, not like super keen on haunted attractions, oddly enough.
Okay.
But I do really love haunted houses or like haunted buildings, abandoned buildings.
Okay. Okay.
I do have one haunted attraction that I would love to visit, but it's kind of like a fever dream because it's in New Zealand.
Oh wow.
It's called Spookers,
Oh
and
yeah, I heard about
they
that.
haunt all year round.
Oh wow, nice.
There's some of their characters are so funny and so like there's one character called Bones, and she's this like off the wall demon, and she's just like crazy, like think of something you would see in like the Flintstones, or like, but she looks like the devil, and she's just banging bones all over the place. She's so funny.
That's great.
And then another character called Whisper, that is just an escaped insane asylum victim, and they don't talk. They just make these really weird, like chittering noises, and I'm just
Yeah, I've
absolutely
seen
obsessed
that.
with them.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen that one. Yeah, that was
yeah,
really creepy.
yeah. So I'm obsessed with both of them, but Spookers would definitely be the one haunt that I would absolutely love to visit. But my 2 most desired haunted houses are Penhurst Asylum, which I've
Yeah.
watched like 900 different videos on it, like on like every single episode of Ghost Hunters they've ever done at Penhurst Asylum. I've watched it like repeatedly.
Gotcha.
I'm so obsessed with it. I love abandoned buildings like that. That place is absolutely terrifying. I'm not super afraid of ghosts, but incredibly intrigued by them.
Yes.
And then the other one is the Winchester Mansion, which is
Yes. I've been to Winchester Mystery House. It was fascinating.
you've been?
Yeah, it
Oh
was
my God, I'm
It
so
was so
jealous.
cool. It was fascinating. Yeah,
I would do
there's
anything.
doors that go nowhere and there's
Exactly.
short staircases, more upstairs. Oh, it was so weird. It was really
And
cool.
I'm the same height as it's
Oh,
Sarah, right?
the owner, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same height as the woman who built the building originally. So all of the stuff
Okay.
in there is like perfect size for
Okay.
Emily.
Okay.
Like the tiny stairs that go up like at the
Oh,
tiny
yeah,
elevation.
yeah.
So I'd have
Yeah.
a blast in there.
Okay.
But that's my other number one.
Well, sometimes they actually do like nightly things in there. at
Yeah,
Winchester.
I've seen some of the night tours and some of the like just like the influencers who have gone there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm it's so fascinating like what goes into that and like all of the weird stuff with like the specific numbers and the weird oh God, I don't remember what it's called. It's like sacred what's the thing? It's that thing that you hate tattooing. The patterns that are like no I don't remember, but it's like that she's obsessed with certain numbers and it's just this it's mind blowing. I would do anything to go there.
Yeah, they made a horror movie out of it, just called Winchester that starred Helen Mirren. I didn't see it.
I
But-
haven't seen it yet either. I just
Um,
I don't want it to like ruin anything.
Yeah.
So
It kind of had the vibe of, those PG-13 movies that aren't the best. Kind of
yeah,
had the vibe, and I was like, I don't want to ruin Winchester for me.
absolutely. I completely agree. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, man. So thank you very much for talking to us. Do you have any final thoughts of anything you want to talk about with the upcoming season, new builds, what to look for, social media, all that good stuff?
Everybody look out. We are currently building a 46-foot tall pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Yes. I haven't even been to the third floor yet, and we are building a fourth floor.
Wow.
I had to, I didn't have to, but Eric gets me into these situations. He's like, hey, go climb that ladder.
Hmm.
So he made me climb a 25-foot ladder. And by the time I got to the top, I was holding it and just shaking.
Oh, gee.
Absolutely. I was like, this is too, I can't. And he was like, look down. And I was like, are you out of your mind? Why would you? I will fall right off of this ladder right now. That's absurd. But it's gonna be like the craziest thing ever. And we are also on the legendary haunt tour.
Yes. Yes.
Which is like a huge honor, obviously.
Yes.
We've been on it once before, but that was far before our time. So definitely if you want to go to that, it's just going to be absolutely phenomenal. And then what's the one other thing? So if you, obviously follow us on Haunted Overload.
Yes.
Not hard to find. Let's just look for the pumpkin. You'll find us.
Yeah.
All of our behind the scenes videos are usually really funny. I have one where I got stuck in a ceiling on TikTok that has 2 million views right now. It's incredibly
2
embarrassing.
million. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. I climbed up a ladder backwards, which you should never ever do. But I was trying to take the easy way out to drill something. And then I went back down and just got stuck under the bust. And people really like that. So yeah, it's absolutely mortifying. But check out our TikTok. We got a lot of funny stuff. Like me being stuck in the ceiling. I get stuck a lot of times. That's a weird quirk about me. But yeah. We're super excited for the upcoming season. Hopefully nobody gets stuck anywhere other than me.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you want to buy anything from Jeff, Let's Get Gross.
Let's Get Gross. Okay.
We got Etsy and Instagram. I don't know if you can see that.
I think they can pause it. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sell all my
It
stuff
looks
on.
like a toe tag too.
Yeah,
Right?
on purpose.
Yeah, we sell all my stuff at the merch booth during the season, and I sell my stuff on my Etsy all year round. So just a bunch of weird shit.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be a great season this year.
Yes, definitely. Wonderful. So thank you very much for being on. And this was episode 41 of Fall Informer. And I've been John from the Haunt Informer.
And I'm Glenn from Fall Ritual.
Until next time, happy hauntings. Cool.